Hey, what hell? Welcome to Monday. Welcome to Countdown Day. And today we are going to be looking at the top 10 Transformers as voted on by fans that people love, but you just don't get the appeal. You don't understand why people like it, right? So it's ones that are popular, but that people are baffled why they're popular. This is an interesting one. Surely, I'm going to give this caveat right now. Some you'll agree with, some I agree with. Some you won't agree with, some I don't agree with. But it's what the fans said. Top 10 Transformers that are really popular, beloved, but you just don't get the appeal. That's our focus this time around in the latest GotBot Countdown. Hey, one hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you're at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton, lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. So I've been curious about this one for quite a while, because there are some offerings that come out in Transformers and people love it. They trip over themselves, they'll say it's magnificent. And I've sat there, I'm sure you have too, and said, why? I don't get the appeal. This isn't even good. And I got curious as to, based on the fandom as a whole, what would be the top 10 Transformers that people, they just love? It's beloved. But like, we just don't get it. Like, you know, there's a segment of us that just don't understand. Like I said, the caveat is that some of these you're going to agree with, some I agree with, some we won't agree with. This has the potential to be one of those that maybe your most beloved could appear on the list, and you might say, oh man, no, not that guy. Keep in mind, none of this is personal. It's all just for fun. We just voted. So, that caveat out of the way, our honorable mentions include Titans Return Fortress Maximus. There's an example. I love the guy. Yeah, I admit that the base mode is a bit wonky, for sure. And I certainly do one of the various fan modes, which are way better. But yeah, Titans Return Fort Max. As well as Metal Hawk Legacy, I think it was Evolution Metal Hawk. Again, love Metal Hawk. Shocked that he had votes. Legacy Deluxe Optimus Prime, the one that is the like toy accurate, like the one that they're calling like the poor man's missing link. A lot of people said that one probably should have been a Voyager to scale with like G1 stuff the way it should. And can't believe this one made the list. Siege Jetfire. Yeah, I love the guy, but he made the list as one of those offerings. Well, he didn't make the list. He made the honorable mentions as one of those offerings that's beloved, that, you know what, some fans just don't understand the appeal of. So, again, the honorable mentions, Titans Return Fort Max, Metal Hawk, the Legacy United Deluxe Optimus Prime, and Siege Jetfire. None of them made the list. Who did? What did? You know what we're going to do. We're going to kick things off with number 10 first. Coming in at number 10 is very simple because it's this. That's right, it is G1 Starscream. And people that voted for G1 Starscream said, I get that the plane looks cool, I get that he's classic, I get that he's G1, but the parts forming is some of the most atrocious parts forming in all of Transformersdom. In fact, if you don't have the parts, he's just a center of a body, what do you call that, fuselage, is that what that's called? Without even wings or blasters. If you transform it, the dude won't even have hands. You need the parts, you need the pieces, you need all the bits for Starscream. Yeah, the ultimate in parts forming, all the way back from G1. One that's beloved, but fans just don't get it, and G1 Starscream takes the number 10 slot. Coming in at number 9, we have Earthrise Optimus Prime. I don't have the trailer here, but a lot of people said the trailer was sorely undersized. I used the Second Chance trailer with it, but I didn't have a problem with the trailer with this guy. Some people said that when it comes to the truck, it's fine, but they kind of hate all the open back here. Some people said that they didn't like the use of gray at the shoulders and the elbows, or the use of blue at the shoulders and the elbows. It should have been red, just like the Siege. Some people said they didn't like how all of the front here comes comes apart and folds up because it feels very fragile. Some people said they didn't like the translucent plastic. There's a whole ton of stuff. Some people said they didn't like the gray on the back and side of the legs. Of course, you can see mine's been painted. Yeah, a lot of niggling little gripes. Oh, and some people said that they didn't like how the I guess the gas canisters come out, but there's no locking point, so they easily push back in. A lot of niggling little gripes, but enough niggling little gripes that this guy was able to clock in at the number 9 slot. Coming in at number 8, we have this guy. That's right, it's Studio Series 86 Ultra Magnus, who is very popular, currently in a reissue, like pre-order window, if I'm not mistaken. Had sort of a shorter run first time around. Those that voted for this guy said, look, as great as he is, the leg transformation's a bit finicky, especially around the knees. The white hinges on the chest, they don't like it, they find it off-putting. The arms, they say as great as it is, when you start to move the arm back, it untransforms, and a lot of people said he's just plain too wide in the body. Whether you see these as minor gripes or major gripes, they were gripes enough for enough voters that this guy was able to land at the number 8 slot. Coming in at number 7 is Magmatron, the Legacy United Magmatron. And those that voted for it were pretty unanimous in the reason for voting for it, saying it's just too weird, it's too asymmetrical, it's just too odd. I gotta believe that they have not actually handled this guy, because in hand he's such a chunk, such a heft, so solid. So he is fantastic, but I understand that when you first look at the guy, for sure, you're probably going to say, I don't get it. And if you're not a Beast Wars fan, you're definitely not going to get it. So Magmatron, as great as he is, clocked in at the number 7 slot. Coming in at number 6, we have another one that I love, but a lot of fans just don't understand the appeal of it with Tarn. I love this mold. I have multiple Tarns for Tarn and for a couple of perfect Decepticons to flank him. I also have it for the Doom and Destruction Bludgeon. But some people said, look, he's too small. The legs are too long. When you put the arm forward like this, it can't go out to the side. Some people really find the arms loose and this across the body hinge loose. I don't really find that on mine, but I guess I get it if the tolerance is off. Some people said he should have been bigger. Some people said he should have been bulkier. Some people said that they wished that the arm articulation was better, and some people said that they wished that the transformation went smoother because they tend to pop the chest off. I haven't had that issue on this iteration of the mold, only on the Doom and Destruction Bludgeon with the remolded chest. A lot of common gripes that I've heard, I haven't experienced them, but they are enough gripes with enough people that old Tarn here takes the number 6 slot. And now a hush falls over the crowd because we've reached the ever-coveted, ever-popular halfway mark. And at the halfway mark, we dig all the way back to G1 and this guy. That's right, Megatron. And those that voted for him, I mean, the debate is always there about what Megatron's alt mode should be. But those that voted for G1 Megatron said, look, he was a janky-looking robot with really undersized arms, overly long yet really thin legs, and a fusion cannon on his arm that really seemed too big for him. They also said his alt mode was absolutely preposterous. Mass shifting is silly. Having an alt mode that somebody else needs to use is silly, even if said alt mode is powerful. That said, there are people that are going to love this guy and say, hey, every iteration that he's been a tank or a plane or something else just isn't right. It doesn't matter where you fall in the debate or where I fall in the debate. Enough fans feel like he's a janky looking robot with a really kind of trash alt mode that good old G1 Megatron clocked in at the number 5 slot. Coming in at number 4, we have this. That's right, Legacy Blitzwing. He's been appearing on a few lists lately, but not in a lot of flattering light. I get this one. I absolutely understand this one. I know a lot of people have supported it. A lot of people have said, hey, it's great. They love it because they say the robot looks like the robot should. I think it's too small, and I don't think it's quite accurate. He certainly doesn't have all that junk on his back. A lot of people said the tank looks like the tank should. Again, color inaccuracies kind of killed it for me, but that's just me. And the plane, do I even need to say anything? Those that voted for this guy as a measure of something that they're confused why people love it, said, look, the robot's too small and it still doesn't look right. The forward arm articulation is at best. And when it comes to the alt modes, that plane is simply unforgivable. Whether you agree, whether I agree, doesn't make any difference. That's what the fans said, and Legacy Blitzwing clocks in at the number 4 slot. Now we're into the top 3, and at number 3 we have Kingdom Rodimus Prime. And those that voted for Rodimus, this was a bit weird. Some people said, not enough paint. I don't... The guy's covered in paint, so I don't really get that criticism. Unless they mean, possibly, that they wish there was more red coming out over the translucent, I guess, windshield here. I get that. Some people said he's too big. He's a Voyager size. He should be Voyager size. So I don't know if I get that one either. I do understand some people saying that the pipes coming down over his wrist, that's a little too long. I guess. Maybe that's a little further down over his wrist than it should be. But most people that voted for this guy said that they can't stand the head. And they want like that custom head that's, you know, come out and whatnot. Now, again, I've said this a lot of times. And I know I'm in the minority. I actually really like the head because it's the first time I looked at Rodimus Prime and thought, he looks like a stoic leader. I like this. It's not exactly G1 accurate, that's for sure. He's definitely looking older here, looking like he's seen some stuff and things. I really like it, but if you are an absolute purist, if you love, for whatever reason, Rodimus Prime, I think he was a terrible leader, but if you like Rodimus Prime for whatever reason, then I get how you might want the head to be different. Some interesting gripes here that I really kind of don't understand. I really wish that the hot rod had actually been more like this than that abysmal thing that we got. And yes, it was abysmal. But yeah, Kingdom Rodimus, who knew? Took the number 3 slot. And here, now in the top 2, I think both of these are going to surprise a lot of people. So at number 2, for a Transformer, let's be clear again on the topic here, for a Transformer that everybody loves and you just don't get the appeal of, you don't understand it, we have 86 Optimus Prime. Those that voted for this guy said that they did not like how loose the smokestacks are on the side of the arms. They did not like the misassembly of the heels, which I absolutely understand. One guy said that he doesn't like how this is a fake grill and how everything from the front of the truck is on his back. Obviously somebody who has not experienced this mold and does not know it. The grill here is actually kind of genius because the way that it sort of turns around makes it a flat grill, but then it still kind of angles in like it's supposed to be his abs. The chest is the chest, so I'm not really sure where that gripe's coming from. A couple of people said during the transformation there are some tight, scary tolerance issues, most notably with the head flipping back and forth. I get that. I love this Optimus. It's the last Optimus I think I ever need. Some people said that they should have borrowed more engineering from Magic Square. I can't speak to that. I don't know the Magic Square Optimus. I love this guy. I will personally not need another Optimus. I'm good for G1 Optimi, if you will. But a lot of people voted for this guy and said, you know what? I get that he's a big deal. I don't have it. I don't want it. I don't really care for it. If that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. Optimus Prime took the number 2 slot. And now very tippy top, number 1. And number 1 is funny because somebody actually wondered which version of this character was going to rank number 1. And at the time I didn't know if any version of this character was going to rank, let alone rank number 1. And it's 86 Bumblebee. Now, to be fair, here, because there's a caveat here as well, anybody who just said anything Bumblebee, I'm going to put with this guy. You didn't specify, so it went with this guy. There were votes for like the Dark of the Moon, for the Bayverse one, for the Bumblebee movie one, for example. But the majority of votes that came in were for the 86. They said he's a fine Bumblebee, like he's fine, but all of this center of his body, all of that's wrong and all of that needed to be redone. The windows aren't the right color, it's too square, the yellow doesn't match on the side. It seems like those that voted for him specifically, oh, and they also mentioned that he doesn't have his spare tire on his back as he should. So those that voted for this guy specifically said like he's good, as I did when I reviewed him. I said he's good. He's not the B for me because of the gripes that people are saying. I understand it. very beloved, has been very hyped, and I understand why it's hyped. He scored really well when I reviewed him, and if he's your bee of choice, I get it. But there's also a big segment that feels like that they missed the mark here. And that's why Bumblebee takes the #1 slot for Transformer that fans love, but you right there that voted, you just don't understand why. Yeah, 86 Bumblebee takes the #1 slot. 10 down to 1 once again. Other ones that could appear on the list here include Siege Omega Supreme, HasLab Unicron, just the character of Unicron, Siege Springer, 86 Springer, 86 Jazz, let's see, Cybertron Starscream, the original, Trypticon, Kingdom Cyclonus, that one baffled me, Armada Optimus Prime, Beachcomber, what else do we have here? G-Axis, the Voyager, the Legacy Voyager one. G1 Skylynx, Dark of the Moon Sentinel Prime, Rise of the Beast, Optimus Primal, the Studio Series one. The Studio Series Rise of the Beast, Optimus Prime. T30 Sandstorm, T30 Springer, Ironhide, T30 Rat Trap, Legacy Bludgeon, probably the same sort of reasoning as Tarn would have. Devastator, any version of Devastator. It was too broad to actually count, but any version of Devastator. Straxus, specifically the comic edition one, though I love that one. Blackout, the movie Blackout as a helicopter. The person that voted for that was only one person that voted for that, and they said he should be a half plane, like he was in G1. I don't know when he was a half plane, but okay, whatever. Legacy Soundwave, Origins Bumblebee, too much of a shell former, and the robot mode is sort of off. I guess I get it. War for Cybertron Megatron, yeah, I kind of get that too. Because of the tabs on the back of the knee. I assume they meant the Studio Series one. What else do we have here? Volcanicus, Animated, Grimlock, gosh, who else here? Because there was so many. Metroplex, Concept Art Megatron, Legacy Quake, Studio Series 1 Optimus Prime, Legacy Vector Prime, Party Wallop, Blaster, Legacy Cosmos because of the hollowness, and just for funsies, Legacy Override, who some people said wasn't quite up to Voyager snuff. Them and even more. It was a wild, interesting round of voting. I'm sure there's some on the list that you and I both agree with and do not agree with. It's just that type of list. I hope it was a bit fun for you. Did your favorites or least favorites make the list this time around or not? I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.